Well, this morning, the nation obviously remembering the life and the contributions of former President Jimmy Carter. Our 39th president passed away yesterday in his home of Plains, Georgia, after spending nearly 2 years in hospice care.
Jacqueline Matter joins us now live in studio with the tributes and heartfelt reactions. And Jacqueline, a life rooted, certainly in public service.
It sure was, Marissa. And I did see your post over on social media and your interaction with the former president as well. James Earl Carter Jr. died at the age of 100 yesterday. The 39th and longest living U.S. president was known as a humanitarian and a peacemaker. President Joe Biden recounting Carter's legacy, speaking to his work to eradicate disease around the world and his efforts to advance civil rights. President-elect Donald Trump acknowledging Carter's leadership online as well, writing about the challenges that he faced and how he did everything in his power to improve the lives of Americans. Former Presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and other leaders also remembering Carter's tireless work, reflecting on how faith was often a guiding light throughout his life.
Jimmy Carter said that every decision he ever made was a difficult decision. All the easy decisions had been made below him. If it rose to that level, it was a difficult decision. His faith, I think, is what carried him through and helped him to make a lot of these great decisions.
Now, funeral arrangements are being made for the former president, both here in Washington as well as in his home state of Georgia. President Biden has scheduled January 9th to be a national day of mourning, and as well, many of the flags across the country at half-staff for the next 30 days.
Well, Jacqueline, as the White House prepares to say goodbye to the longest living president, the outpouring of support continues.
Let's get Stephanie Ramirez this morning with more reaction on the former president's death. Steph.
Good morning, guys. The whole world stopping to take note of former President Jimmy Carter's legacy. President Joe Biden, as Jacqueline just mentioned, ordered flags to fly at half-staff. The peanut farmer from Georgia would narrowly win election in 1976. Months after the Watergate scandal, he would lose his re-election bid to Ronald Reagan in 1980, with economic issues at home as well as crisis in Iran being top of mind for voters. President Carter would go on to vindicate that time, though, redefining his life's legacy as a global humanitarian in his work to eradicate disease in Africa. And he was also seen with a hammer in hand to help build affordable homes with Habitat for Humanity. Carter is also being remembered during his time in office for the 1979 Camp David Accords, a peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. Carter earning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his untiring efforts to find peaceful resolutions as well as advance democracy and human rights. We are seeing praise from both sides of the aisle, from former incoming President Donald Trump to current President Joe Biden.
Jimmy Carter lived a life measured not by words but by his deeds. Just look at his life, his life's work. He worked to eradicate disease, not just at home, but around the world. He forged peace, advanced civil rights, human rights, promoted free and fair elections around the world. He built housing for the homeless with his own hands. And his compassion and moral clarity lifted people up and changed lives and saved lives all over the globe.
Later this morning, here in Washington, D.C., the official condolence book for President Carter will be available to sign. You can do so starting at 9 o'clock at the People's House, a White House experience that's located at 1700 Pennsylvania Avenue. Steve?
Stephanie, thanks very much. And of course, more tributes coming in online as well. As you can see there, just a few of the many tributes coming in from folks in all walks of life, to be honest, from those who were around 50 years ago when he was president, to those who knew him, to obviously the highest of highest public officials who have been weighing in throughout the day today.
Yeah, so many heart-warming stories as well. Some I had never heard before. So we'll continue to honor his life and legacy throughout the course of the day and days to come.